All right, here we go. Illuminated by my new desk lamp. Bit of an anglerfish. Pretty cool. All right, tonight's go is, something I wrote about in the grimoire I'm working on. Not that you've seen that because it's not going to be released for a while, but this first dark gate has to do with sort of a black abyss, right? And those energies can kind of go both ways, and that's exactly what I'm testing tonight. So what you're seeing is me performing a ritual that I've been told about. Now it's mostly just a set of procedures, but regardless, I've been told about it, and I haven't tested it yet. So I've got 3 candles here, which I did talk about in the grimoire. I mean, eventually it'll be released, but now one of these things is for a specific trait I want to diminish. Right? It's not a permanent thing. It's not a or else sort of thing. Right? The second is for it's going to be for a group of people who have a similar trait that I would know that is being reduced. And I expect that won't happen for a few days because one of these people is just going back to work, say tomorrow, if I remember correctly. Obviously, I didn't miss them. I'd rather they just not come back at all, quite frankly. But so first, I'll be doing one of these workings against that person to reduce a specific trait. I'll be using another one in the power of the gate, right, to use against a group, a small group, literally a small geographical group, who have some undesirable traits. It's going to be hard to. I expect it's not going to work the first couple of days. I don't think. I expect it to start working after that. And this third candle is against a different set of traits. And the reason for that is because I know they have these traits. I know they're going to exhibit these traits. I'm not going to be able to stop these traits entirely. And they're good people, right? So I need some of these traits to kind of fade away. But I don't want to. I'm not going to sit there and curse somebody because of these traits, right? I'm not going to do it. So instead, what this gate allows me to do, from what I've seen and been told, is that I could take some of these traits and siphon them off into this. And I suppose you could say that's just a waste of energy. But if it works and it brings me peace, then that sounds like it's pretty beneficial to me, right? I also want to say that there are no lasting effects from this, right? It's gonna last for a little bit. It's not permanent. It's not meant to be permanent. But the point is that this gate is supposed to be a little bit more two-way than some of these other gates. Usually, we're trying to pull energy from a gate like this way, and this one I need to do the opposite, and then I need to send it into it, right? So there's going to be done a couple different ways. Primarily, these are going to be open connections. So there's going to be 3 open connections to this gate, which will have to be maintained, have to be kept open. That itself isn't so much a problem, but since I am not going to be actively doing these things, I need the ritual, and then what I need to do is I need to see how long the ritual will last, the effects last when I do them, and then see, okay, can I then use the servitor? Would that be overloading the servitor if I were using it in other ways? Things like that. Would I need to create another one just for this type of thing? Well, I have some vampiric ones already. But I really want to use just this one, this servitor located in here, and because he really needs trained, because that one and the other one are going to be the two mainstays, I think, of this next grimoire, because they'll have the experience and have been taught all these things along the way as I go through and find these gates. So we're going to go ahead and get through at least two of them. I'm still considering on the third one. I may just need to wait on the third one, to be honest with you. I'm not feeling quite as clear as I should be, so I'll just go ahead and set that off to the side, and we'll go with these other two. So the first thing I'm going to do, I've been talking about the servitor and thinking of it, so it already knows it's there. So I will, or not, or he will go ahead and open that for me. All right, so what are we doing here? So now I've got, in this case, a gate that I need energy to go into to siphon it off, right? Now I know there's going to be an entity on the other end siphoning this off. But when I started going about this, I didn't know that, and I don't know that I particularly care. Now in this case, it's going to work to my benefit, because this is an entity I'll be working with. I could give a name, but it's the name I've given it, sort of thing. It's not necessarily its real name, and you could argue that's the way it is across the board. But what really actually matters now is that now this is the person. This is actually the trait, and I already know the person because I'm not going to use the person's name on here. So instead, I use the trait, because I know there are some jackasses out there besides me, and I'm not looking to. I'm not looking for somebody to have some issues there. So one of the things we do talk about with these gates, though, is that we open the gate, which is already open there, right? And we kind of let the servitor do a lot here. And we do. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to tell it that this is the trait that I'm going to be looking to siphon off of, right? And then I'm going to have to tell it. Now, naturally, I'm going to tell it mentally, because if I say it out loud, that would kind of open me up to liability and things like that. So the single target is there. This is the trait. Now, the group target are these individuals, and they all have a similar trait with this. Okay. Now, this is probably one of the biggest jobs this servitor has had to do so far. I'm pretty confident that I will be able to do that. So what am I doing? What I'm going to do right now is that I'm not going to be charging these candles so much, as I'm going to be creating an energy source for this gate, because I don't want the servitor to have to keep it open the whole time, right? And then what'll happen is I already have another way of energizing the servitor, right? And that's how it's going to go. So the gate's open, and the stone itself already has a charge because I gave it a charge. So I'm not really worried about that so much, but I do need to get this candle ready, and this other candle is pretty much the same thing. So I'm going to need to first take these candles. And because I do energy work, right, it doesn't take that much for me to go ahead and supercharge these candles a bit, right? Usually when I do that, I can either do it on layers of the candle where it's filled, compact, fill, compact, compacted candles, right? Or I can do it this way, fill, compact, the stores. This should be more than enough for me to test out this procedure. For what I need. So this is going to be for that original target, and I need that behavior. Do you understand? Thank you. This is for that group with this similar behavior. I need that produced. Do you understand? Thank you. I will expect to be seeing results over this next week, at least the next few days. Don't waste energy on this outside of working hours, because otherwise I won't see it, right? So don't waste energy on this outside of working hours. Other than that, I will leave you to do as you see fit. But I'm going to go ahead and provide this energy. It's going to go ahead and get stored in the stone, and then you can then do your thing, so you don't have to worry about the stone needing to be energized over a period of time. Now, what else am I going to do with this stone, though? Is that even though it's open, I'm going to go ahead and tell it that I don't want a lot of things coming in or out, including energy, that I am not designating. Because if you open up a gate to something, then you have to expect that it's going to make changes in your environment. That energy signature is very different, or you wouldn't need the gate, right? Now, once upon a time, I do have gates for Tiamat, and I've used them, and I've held them open, I've kept them open for a prolonged period of time. And if you aren't used to Tiamat's energy, or at least I should say the energy of the gate that Tiamat represents, well, excuse me, Tiamat represents the energy. That's what's flowing through the gate. If you aren't used to that, it can cause some serious conflict within your area. So if you do it, say, right next to your household, or in your household, or something like that, things can get a little hairy. And I suppose you could say I could just bring this stone in with me into work, and then just energize it while I'm there with the drunk link, and you would be correct. It would be awfully hard for other people to replicate that, wouldn't it? And even though I've been told this about this gate, I don't necessarily really know this about this gate, because it's not been proven yet. And as much as I trust the source, I need to personally understand the workings if I'm going to be suggesting other people do this, right? So we will go ahead and put the candles here. There is going to be enough time. I'm going to go ahead and tell these 2 candles. I'll set the linkage here. I could ask the servitor to do that, but here I'm not, because I want its attention focused on the other. It knows where to get the energy that it needs. And of course, I will be feeding this servitor afterwards, because I needed to open links. And yes, open links, creating and opening links don't take a lot of energy if it's already being provided, right? Through the candles into the stone. But I'm not going to ask it to do something and then not pay it. I don't ask entities to do something and not pay them. And occasionally I'll say, hey, this is a favor, and that's fine. But that's what I'm going to do. So, candles have been charged. The gate is waiting and will stay open. Servitor is standing by. All right. We'll go ahead and light. And I expect, like I said, I think the first few days, so Monday, Tuesday, I'm not expecting a whole lot. I think things will start to normalize a bit Wednesday. And then by Friday, I think I should see results from this. And while I do a lot of baneful work and things like that when it's necessary, or to help friends and things like that, this is actually a little bit less than that, because you're largely depleting a certain thing. And we're not talking about the soul or energy body or immunity systems, or you could say it's certainly not white magic. And yeah, you could say it's black, but it's not deadly in any way. Right? It's no different than if you were doing a frozen cow tongue spell to silence an enemy. It's no different than that. We're just using the gate for this because I've been told something similar to that would work, and I don't think you should have to have evocation skills to be able to do that. And so I don't need to evoke them and then make that part of them stand out that facilitates that trait that I don't like, and then bind that like you would. Instead, we're just going to draw that off so it has less energy. It shouldn't affect their health. We're affecting certain traits. In this case, one trait. So if this works, then I mean, I know it'll work. I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure about the effectiveness, if I'm being honest. And so that is what we're going to do here. That effectiveness is not necessarily the construct's responsibility. I just need to see, do I need a full ritual for this, or can I just do it with this way? And I can energetically bind things and do it that way, but I want to use a softer hand here because they may not even know it's happening. You see what I'm saying? So I want to know how forceful I have to be, because when you start working in corporate environments with corporate rules, you know, especially when it's you know, public service or something like that, you have to be very conscious about what you say, how you say it, and if you come in with a really big, heavy freaking hand, that has consequences, right? And so I'm also trying to avoid that. So, candles are lit. You know, actually, while I'm thinking about it right here with this nifty ass little lamp going on right there, which kicks ass. I'm thinking I need to just turn that into a spirit that'll chop the shit out of somebody if I don't like him. You know what I mean? I mean, this is not what an anglerfish does. Here, pretty, you know. Yeah. All right, well, okay, so let's see where these things go. I know the light's mesmerizing, but watch the fangs, yeah.